that this is not possible. You can't take the square root of a negative. So, but for all intents and purposes for Algebra 1, that is the case. For Algebra 2, however, we call those imaginary numbers. So you can title this part imaginary numbers. And so the way we break that down is 49 times -1. And I'm going to give you, every time we see the square root of -1, we're going to write it as an I for imaginary numbers. So really what this means is 7I. You guys with me? And we treat that I like it's a variable. We write the number first and then the I. So every time you see a square root of -1, you're going to write an I. So if I had the square root of -36, what would that be, please? Actually, why don't you guys try that one right now? Break it down. Bring it down.
Oh, it would be 36 times -1.
And we end up with?
6I.
6I, good. And notice I put that, they do it like a little handwriting I. All right, what happens if I have something like this? What do you think we do? Shaylin.
So maybe break it up like 16 times...
I always do my perfect squares first. How about 16 times -1
Okay.
times what?
Times 2.
Times 2.
And then,
Square root of 16 is 4. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. It's 4I, right? And then I've got radical 2. Are you guys clear on that? 4I, radical. So we put number variable, then radicals. Number variable. All right, so now what happens if I have something like this? X squared plus 36 equals 0. Well, we know that can't be factored, but what can we do? Ryan? Subtracting 36 from both sides. And I'm left with x squared equals -36. Now what, Ryan? Get the quadratic alone, and we use the square root property of equality. And so I get the absolute value of x equals, inside I'm going to break it down, 36 times -1. What does that break down to? 6I. To lose the absolute value, what must you do? Plus or minus, so x. And yes, you must do these steps here. That's why a lot of people got them wrong. Okay, let me show you another kind. What happens if I have x plus 2 squared? Let's just do this. 2. No. Let's do equals 44. What do we do? Hershey? Root both sides. Okay, I get the absolute value of x plus 2 equals, oh, sorry, I should have made that a negative, right? Pretend that's a negative. Okay, sorry. Whoops. Okay, so now we're doing negative, let's go, I'll first do my perfect squares. 4 times -1 times 11. You with me? Square root of 4 is 2I, and then we have a radical 11 equals x plus 2. But to lose the absolute value, I have to make them both equal to plus or minus. Now, what are we doing here? Minus 2, x equals -2. Notice that minus 2 comes before it. Plus or minus the whole thing. You guys with me? Okay, I'm going to tell you one more thing. I'm not going to solve it, but I'm going to show you a situation. When you have something like this, 3, x, let's go -3, x plus 2 squared plus 1 equals 35, right? We have to get the quadratic alone before we can use the quadratic, the square root property of equality. Minus 1, negative 3 times x plus 2 squared equals 34. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. Now I've got it, right? Equals 34 over 3, and it's negative. Now we root. Same rules. Get rid of the radical in the denominator. Sophia, they're taking pictures. Any questions? Okay, you guys all got the homework? Both sheets? Wait, I already handed those out. Sophia.